Hi, I'm Arthur and welcome to my Singer's Guide to Piano Chords. In it, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know in order to be able to play and sing your favourite songs using piano chords as quickly as I possibly can. Let's go! So a chord is two or more keys played on the piano at the same time. There are different types of chords and they can be split into four main groups: major, minor, diminished and augmented. For the moment, let's just focus on the major and minor chord groups, because these are the most commonly used. In its simplest terms, you could say that major chords have a happy sound to them, and minor chords have a more sad sound to them. Major chords are symbolised using capital letters, so a C major chord would be written as a capital C, and a D major chord would be written as a capital D. And sometimes you may see the word major shortened to maj, so the symbol may say C maj or D maj. Now, you could try and memorise all of the different major chords individually, and we could go through them now one by one, but we're not going to. You can find any major chord you want on the piano by remembering just two numbers, 3 and 2. Here's how it works. If you wanted to play the C major chord, you start off by playing the C, and then you skip the next 3 white or black keys moving to the right. So you skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, and then you play the next key up, which would be the E. And then you skip the next 2 black or white keys. So you skip 1, skip 2, and then you play the next one to the right. So the pattern is play, skip 3, play, skip 2, play. This will give you the C major triad chord in root position. Triad because there are 3 notes in the chord, and root position because you can change the order of the notes around. These are called inversions. But let's not worry about inversions right now. Let's keep things simple. You can use this approach to find any major chord that you want to. Let's find another major chord so you can see it in action. So let's say you wanted to find an E major chord. So the pattern was you play, skip 3, play, skip 2, play. So you start off on an E, then you skip 3, so 1, 2, 3, then you play the next one up to the right, which would be the G sharp, and then you skip 2, so skip 1, skip 2, then you play the next one to the right, which would be this B. And that would be your E major chord triad. And just one point, it's very important to include both the white and the black keys when you're counting here. Minor chords are shown with either a lowercase m or min, short for minor. So a C minor chord would be written as a CM or a C min. And a D minor chord would be DM or D min. To find any minor chord you want, you just flip those 2 numbers the other way round. So 2 and 3. Let's say you wanted to find an F minor chord. So you'd start off with an F, and then you would skip 2, so 1, 2, and then you play the next note up to the right, which would be the A flat, and then you skip 3. So skip 1, skip 2, skip 3. The next note there would be then the C. So that would be your F minor chord triad. And let's do one more, but with a chord that might be seen as a bit trickier to remember, an E flat minor chord. But this number approach works every time. So you start off with an E flat, then you skip 2, so 1, 2, then you play the next note up, which would be the G flat, then you skip 3, so 1, 2, 3, then you play the next note up from there, which would be the B flat. So those 3 notes together, that is the E flat minor chord. How cool is that? And with these 2 chord types, you can now play hundreds, if not thousands of songs. I'll show you how it works. When chords are put together in a sequence, we call it a chord progression. And lots of songs use the same chord progressions. And as you may already know, you can find these chord progressions along with their lyrics on the internet for free. And one of the best websites to use is ultimateguitar.com. And even though it's a guitar website, guitars and other instruments use the same chords, so we can use the chord sheets from there on the piano. Let's just say you wanted to learn a song by Adele. So you just type it in the search bar and there'll be quite a few different versions that'll come up. And it's usually good to go for the one with the highest amount of ratings and reviews. Then you can just download it and print it off. Often you'll find that the chords are placed in line with the lyrics. So using the number technique to find the chords, you'll be able to start playing and singing straight away. What's also great about this website is if you scroll down to the bottom, you can transpose the chords, which means you can move them higher or lower in pitch in order to suit your vocal range. So just playing the chords as they line up with the lyrics would create a nice, simple accompaniment to go along with your singing, which is great. But let me give you some basic rhythms you can use to get started. So most popular songs use either 4 beats per bar or 3 beats per bar. And a bar is a musical way to divide a song up into sections. If we take this simple chord progression, C major, G major, A minor, and F major. And let's say that each chord lasts for 1 bar and there are 4 beats per bar. If you wanted to play with some rhythm, what you could do is play each chord in your right hand 4 times and play the root note once in your left underneath. And by root note, I mean the name of the chord. So a C major would be just a single C in your left hand. So here you could play the C major chord in your right hand 4 times and just hold a single C underneath in your left for the full bar. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you could just do the same for the rest of the chords. So you'd go C, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, and F, 2, 3, 4. And you'll be able to use that rhythm for hundreds and hundreds of songs. The other really common timing is 3 beats per bar. So if you wanted to take this same chord progression and apply that timing, you would play each chord in your right 3 times, and then you would hold the root in your left hand underneath just once, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you wanted to make your playing sound a bit fuller, what you can do is you can add an octave in the left hand. An octave meaning 8 notes. So basically you double up the left hand. So if you're playing a C in your left, you just play a C lower down there. And if you play that same chord progression with that left hand octave, you go. Now, for whichever songs you want to play, you can either figure the rhythms and beats per bar out by ear, and if not, on Ultimate Guitar, the chord sheets often have the song's timing and rhythm suggestions at the top of the page. The other 2 common types of chords you may come across are diminished chords and augmented chords. A diminished triad chord is just a minor triad chord with a flattened 5th. They are symbolised with either a dim or a small circle, almost like a degree sign. So a C diminished chord would be written with either a C dim or a C with the small circle. To find this chord, you can first identify the minor triad chord, and then you can move the far right key down to the left to the nearest white or black key. So here you'd move the G to the G flat. So that would be your C diminished chord there. Let's find another one. So let's just say you wanted to play an E diminished chord. So you first of all find the E minor triad, then you flatten the 5th, which is the far right. So you take the B and then you move it down to the left to the nearest black or white key. So that would be the B flat. So this would be your E diminished chord. So that's how to find diminished chords. Now for augmented chords. So augmented chords are major chords with a sharpened 5th. They are symbolised with either an aug or a plus sign. So a C augmented chord would be written as either a C aug or a C plus. To find it, play the C major triad chord and then sharpen the 5th. So you make the far right key go up to the right to the nearest black or white key. So that would be to the G sharp. So this would be your C augmented chord. Let's find one more. Let's find the A augmented chord. So you start off with the A major triad chord, and then you sharpen the 5th. So the far right key, you move that up to the right to the nearest white or black key, which would take you to the F. So that would be the A augmented chord. And now I want to quickly mention something that you might see on your chord sheets, which is really useful to know. So you may come across chord symbols that look like this. For example, C/, E. These are called slash chords, and it's telling you to play a chord in your right hand and to play another note in your left hand underneath. In this case, it would mean to play a C major in your right with an E in your left, like this. So, with those 4 chord types and those couple of rhythm suggestions, you'll now be able to print off your favourite songs and have enough to be able to play and sing them until your heart's content. I'll just say one more thing. When you go ahead and print off your own chord sheets, you may see chord symbols like we've looked at, but with extra numbers included, like for instance C6, D minor 7 or G9. These are referring to intervals. An interval is the musical term for counting the distance between 2 notes. You may have noticed me saying flatten or sharpen the 5th just before. If you take the C major chord, you can number the notes 1st, 3rd and 5th. When you see these numbers on the chord symbols, it means you are supposed to add extra notes into the chords. But this is quite a big subject, so I'm not going to go into depth on these right now. If you see any of these numbers on your chord sheets, for the moment it'll be okay just to play the basic chord without the extra chord extensions. If you want to learn more about intervals, as well as more complex chords, playing patterns, rhythms and more, then check out my comprehensive piano chords course over on my website. Anyway, I hope you found my quick guide to piano chords useful. If you did, you may be interested in this video of mine. Please do like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I've been Arthur from Bird's Piano Academy, and thanks for watching.